Hi Year 11, this video is designed to help you with your understanding of pest control methods. I've talked previously about tracking indexes and I've given a whole video on pest control methods generally. This video is going to focus very specifically on bird monitoring. Recognise that bird species, particularly in New Zealand, are highly affected by pests. They are outcompeted by pests in terms of going after things like seeds or the flowers of plant species that they might be pollinators for or seed dispersers for. And that can have an impact on that wider ecosystem, because without those bird species acting as pollinators, then you don't have those plants. And if you don't have those plants, then your entire ecosystem in terms of the plant life is in a very, very delicate place. So monitoring the number of your bird population, getting an insight into how many different bird species you've got as well, gives you an insight into how effective any pest control method that you have is. If there are less pests, there are far more likely to be more native birds. So how do we count our birds? We literally count them. That involves you waiting there for 5 minutes and recording all the birds that you see or that you hear. Different bird species look different to each other. Different bird species sound different to each other. They do this because they want to be able to, in terms of their plumages or their bird calls, they're very often used as ways to communicate or to signal their availability to a potential mate. So they have distinctive colorations or distinctive sounds and distinctive shapes and features that allow you to identify a specific bird species. Please recognize that before you've taken a pest control method and after a pest control method, you're more likely to have far more bird species after an instance of pest control than before. So once you've got that information and you need to do something with it, as I said, different birds make different sounds. Go listen to the sound of a tui versus the sound of a fantail or a blackbird. They sound different. That's the thing. But what do you do with that? Well, you spend 5 minutes at your count station, and broadly there would be 15 in a pest control area. So in the example that we've got 15, and you've got your no pest control area at the top and your pest control area down the bottom. You then have your species of birds, your waxeye, your tui, your the kereroo, the bellbird, the fantail, the grey warbler. And what you are doing then in that counting period is you wait your 5 minutes and you note the number of birds that you see or that you hear, and you record that down. So at station 1, you only heard a couple of tuis. There were 2 birds in total, and that would mean that you'd write down the number of species that you saw, which is 1. You do that for your 15 stations, noting it for the different species that you come across. At the end of that, of all 15, you can work out the total number of each species that you saw across all 15. That's the sum of each species section. And then you can work out the average of each species at each of those stations. So you generate some more data. Now compare the no pest control area to the pest control area. And the very short reading of it will be that you have a far larger number of various bird species at the stations in the pest control area than you do in the no pest control area, which was to be expected.